Every day in America, an average of 17 veterans die by suicide. These are men and women who once wore the uniform to protect our freedoms, yet to many now fight invisible battles long after returning home. This issue affects all of us. Almost every community in the United States, including right here in Florida, has veterans who struggle with post-traumatic stress, depression, or anxiety. These invisible wounds don't just impact the individual veteran. They affect families, workplaces, and the overall health of our communities. Understanding veterans' mental health helps us become more supportive, informed citizens who can make a difference in the lives of those who serve. My name is Lizabet, and today I'll be discussing the challenges veterans face when it comes to mental health and how civilians can play a role in helping them heal. We will be going over the overall scope of the issue and how widespread mental health challenges are among veterans. The most common mental health conditions veterans experience, such as PTSD, depression, and anxiety. The major barriers that prevent veterans from getting the care they need. The effective treatments available, and how civilians can help make a difference. According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, there are over 20 million veterans in the United States today. Many of them return home with invisible wounds, such as post-traumatic stress, depression, or anxiety that can deeply affect their daily lives. Combat exposure, repeated deployments, and the stress of transitioning back to civilian life all increase the risk of developing mental health issues. Sadly, suicide rates among veterans remain higher than those of the general population, making early care and prevention crucial. Now that we've seen how large and serious this issue is, let's look more closely at the most common mental health conditions veterans experience. Medical experts like Dr. Charles Hogue and Dr. Robert Kaufman have studied veterans' mental health extensively. They found that post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is one of the most common conditions, often leading to intrusive memories, hypervigilance, and disrupted sleep. In addition to PTSD, veterans frequently struggle with depression, anxiety, and traumatic brain injuries. These conditions can overlap, making diagnosis and treatment more complex and often leading to substance use as a form of coping. Even though these conditions are well documented and treatable, many veterans still face challenges when trying to get the help they need. One of the biggest barriers is stigma. Many veterans worry that seeking mental health treatment will make them appear weak or unfit. This fear can prevent them from reaching out for support. There are also practical obstacles. Veterans living in rural areas may have limited access to specialized care. Long waiting times, insurance gaps, and providers who lack military culture competence can also discourage treatment and reduce trust. Even with these barriers, there is hope. Effective treatments and supportive programs are helping many veterans recover and rebuild their lives. According to the VA Clinical Practice Guideline Group, trauma-focused psychotherapies such as cognitive processing therapy and prolonged exposure therapy are among the most effective treatments for PTSD. Cognitive behavioral therapy and carefully managed medications also help reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. Civilians can play a powerful role by recognizing warning signs, listening without judgment, and encouraging veterans to seek help. Supporting local veteran organizations and advocating for accessible, culturally competent care can make a real difference. Now that we've explored the problem, the conditions, the barriers, and the solutions, let's review what we've learned. Veterans across the United States face serious mental health challenges, including PTSD, depression, and anxiety, which often is worsened by stigma and limited access to care. Despite these challenges, effective treatments exist, and with the support of informed communities, many veterans can recover and live fulfilling lives. Let's remember, behind every uniform is a story that continues long after service ends. As President Abraham Lincoln once said, "To care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan." That promise reminds us that understanding and supporting veterans' mental health is not just compassion, it's our shared responsibility. Thank you.